Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today I'm going to tell you a very interesting story called Elves and the Shoemaker. Before I read the storybook, I would like to tell you about where did I take it from. Ladybird Readers. Ladybird Readers is a series of traditional tales, modern stories, and non-fiction written for young learners of English as a foreign language. The series includes language activities and exercises that help develop key skills, written and spoken English. Now let's start the story. Once upon a time, there lived a poor shoemaker and his wife. They were cobblers. "This is all the leather I have got now," said the shoemaker. "I can make only one more pair of shoes." So friends, as you see that the writer is introducing us to the story of characters. And there were two characters, one shoemaker and his wife. Backstory. That night the shoemaker cut the leather. "I can make these shoes in the morning," he said. He left the leather in the shop and he went to bed. So friends, as you see that the shoemaker planned it earlier that I can do this, that at the night I could do this, and it was the time, so we should plan a little bit earlier. Then when the time is come, we can do it to make the work easier. Shoemaker did that. The work was easy, but not that easy. Like half was easy, half was hard. So the work was easy. So which work was easy? He did the work. Half work was done and half wasn't done. Backstory, next page. In the morning, the shoemaker came downstairs. He was very surprised because the leather that he left behind was now a pair of beautiful shoes. So friends, as you see that the shoe can't be made it itself. So the writer is creating suspense. Now he wants us to think that it's like a magic or something, but I don't believe in magic. It's just tricks. I can show you like it's... Now you might be thinking that my finger is really off, but it isn't. Look. Backstory. The shoemaker called his wife. "Did you make those shoes?" he said. "No," said his wife. "I didn't make those shoes." Later on, a rich woman came into the shop and she saw the shoes. "These are the most beautiful shoes in the world," she said, and she gave the shoemaker 3 gold coins. The shoemaker used the coins to buy more leather. That night he cut up the leather for 2 pairs of shoes and he left it on the table. Then he went to bed. The next morning, there were 2 pairs of beautiful shoes on the table. The shoemaker called his wife. "Did you make those shoes?" he said. "No," said his wife. "I didn't make those shoes." The same day, a rich man came into the shop. "What beautiful shoes," he said. "I'll buy these for 6 gold coins." The shoemaker brought more leather with the coins. "Now I can make 3 pairs of shoes," he said. That night, he cut the leather and he left it on the table. Then he went to bed. So friends, now we are about to know that who was making these shoes daily. So for that we have to know quick. So I will read the story for you. The next morning, the shoemaker came downstairs. On the table were 3 pairs of beautiful shoes. Now look, friends, again it was 2 pairs of beautiful shoes. Sorry, it was 3 shoes. And now the shoemaker is thinking, who are making these shoes and why? He is guessing that who is that? I locked everything. I locked the windows. I locked the doors. Now who could get in my house? So to know that, we will get back to story, and I'm sure you want to know too that who is making the shoes. So I'll read the story for you. Back to story in the next page. The shoemaker called his wife. We must find out the person who is making these beautiful shoes, he said. Now look, shoemaker is about to find. We are very close. The shoemaker worked it very hard that day. This time he cut the leather for 4 pairs of shoes. But that night the shoemaker and his wife didn't go to bed. Oh my God, they're about to find out. They waited and watched. At 12 o'clock, the door opened. 2 little elves in old clothes came into the shop. They jumped on the table, opened their little green bags, and took out reels of colorful threads, thimbles, scissors, and needles. So, friends, do you know what are tools? Do you know what they are? They can make anything, like they have reels of colorful threads, thimbles, scissors, and needles. Do you know what's needle? Needle that we could make anything, like if we want to close our shirt, so we just do it. Backstory. The elves stitched and hammered all night. In the morning, there were 4 pairs of beautiful shoes. Then they packed their bags and left the shop. So now, friends, you see, there was someone in the story who were making these shoes, and those were the elves. The shoemaker said to his wife, the elves are helping us, but how can we help them? I know what we can do, said his wife. So they are gonna do something. For that, I'll read the story for you. The shoemaker and his wife worked it very hard. They made 2 pairs of little green shoes, some little green clothes, and 2 little green hats. That night they left the little green shoes, hats and clothes in the shop. Then they hid and waited for the elves. At midnight, the door of the shop opened and the elves came in. When they saw the little green shoes and the little green clothes and the little green hats, they were very surprised. They liked their new clothes very much and put them on at once. The little elves came every night to help the shoemaker and his wife. They made many beautiful shoes, and the shoemaker and his wife made lots of little clothes for the elves. The shoemaker and his wife and the two little elves all lived happily ever after. Thank you, friends. The end. Bye bye, friends.